Let's face it, you're probably getting a little tired of eating the same recipes out of your pantry. Well, have no fear. My friend and cookbook author, Chef Laura Lea, is here with a delicious recipe from her brand new cookbook, Simply Laura Lea, that's out now. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. What a big day.
I am so excited for you. I mean, your cookbook is a nonstop repeat in our house, so I'm really excited to check out these new recipes. And you've got a takeout favorite that you've done a little twist with, is that right?
That is exactly right. So I'm going to show you how I do a healthier twist on honey walnut, which is one of my favorite takeout meals.
I can't wait. Okay, so walk us through the steps.
Cool. Okay, so the first thing that I went ahead and did is I took about 2/3 cups of raw walnuts and I tossed them with a little bit of melted butter and a little bit of honey. You could use coconut oil instead for dairy-free. And then I roasted them at 350 degrees for about 12 minutes. And I'm just going to set them aside to get nice and crunchy. The next thing that I did is I made our sauce. And this is a mixture of a couple things, especially sriracha, a little bit of avocado oil-based mayo, a touch more honey, and some spices. And this is what we're going to toss the shrimp in when everything is done. So I went ahead and whisked that up, and you could use a little bit less sriracha. You can always kind of modify to your taste if you want less spice.
I love that there's a little bit of spicy and sweet to this too. My mouth is salivating, even though I can't smell it here. I'm all in. I'm with you.
Totally. Well, that's the thing. I'm not anti-sweeteners, but if you're going to use a sweetener, it's great to use something that has some health benefits to it, like honey does. Antibacterial, antimicrobial benefits. It's better than refined sugar, which is in a lot of dishes, you know. We have that going. And then the other thing this calls for, in the original recipe, I asked for water chestnuts. Now, if you can find them, that's awesome. But I know a lot of us can't find something like that right now.
Sure.
So hearts of palm are great options. So I sliced up some hearts of palm. You could use really whatever vegetable you happen to have lying around to make this nice and robust. So the next thing that I did is I filled this little baggie with some root starch. You could use cornstarch instead, salt, pepper, and a little bit of onion powder. Now, in the interest of time for what we're doing, normally I would toss this all together, and then I would be cooking our shrimp in batches over here. You guys are going to get the recipe. But for us, what I'm going to do is go ahead and add this all in and toss everything together as it's cooking in the pan.
Perfect. And what type of shrimp are you using, Laura Lea? Can you use the frozen shrimp? Do you need fresh shrimp? What?
Okay, I use frozen wild caught shrimp, which honestly you can get at a lot of grocery stores now. If you can't find wild caught, that's cool too. Don't worry about it. Just do the best you can. But right now, a lot of us only have access to frozen stuff.
Right.
And that's fine. I think we forget that frozen food is usually frozen right at the point of production. You can actually get some really delicious and healthy options in your freezer section right now.
Yeah, and even if you get things that are fresh, or even fruits or vegetables, you can freeze them yourself so that they can stretch longer. Isn't that right?
That's true too. And it's funny, I'm glad you said that, because right now, the frozen sections are often completely empty at the grocery stores, but the produce section, so much going on. So especially things like cruciferous vegetables like broccoli or Brussels sprouts or cauliflower, cabbage, all of that freezes beautifully.
That's a great tip.
Wash it off, chop it up, and go ahead and put it in your freezer for a long time.
I love that. All right, I know we're running out of time, but I want to make sure we see that finished product. So where would we go from there, my friend?
Absolutely. So what we're going to do is get our shrimp nice and pink, and then we're just going to toss everything together. We're going to add the sauce, we're going to add our crunchy walnuts, our hearts of palm, and we're going to get a nice shrimp takeout. And then what I love to do, up some white rice. So cook up some white rice with a little bit of tamari, but you could use soy sauce, a little bit of toasted sesame oil, and some kimchi. It's a really nice side to go with this.
Oh, it's so good. Well, I already love your coconut rice recipe from your first cookbook. I cannot wait to get my hands on this one. Chef Laura Lea, thank you so much for joining us today. The new cookbook is Simply Laura Lea, and I guess you can get that anywhere books are sold?
Yep, should be there.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for joining me. I hope next time you get to come into the studio so that we can all enjoy it. But make sure you get your copy of Simply Laura Lea today. Thank you, girl.